Hello everyone, Resin86 here, bringing you another replay, this time in the T69, the Tier 8 American medium tank, which is part of the new line of autoloaders. And I'm platooned up with a couple of buddies of mine from my former clan. Winterblaze is in his T69 and Boltedon is in his AMX AC48. Now, we're on Corellia. This is an assault map, not my particular cup of tea. This is an 8.8 replay, so very sorry, apologies for the frame skipping. So we decide to go up here to the north. Winterblaze goes to the south to help that side of the defense, and Bolted keeps a watchful eye on this side while he stays back to snipe. Now, last week I talked a little bit about the autoloaders, a little bit about the raw power that they have with the 4 or 6 shells, maybe even 5, depending on which autoloader we're talking about. The amount of burst damage that they have inside a very small amount of time. But what I wanted to show with this replay mostly is the downside that they can have. The downside of having a long reload, or the fact that they usually cannot face a tank one-on-one. So the Tiger P goes up. He goes to tank the hill. The T25-2 down there does an awesome job of spotting. He's already spotted an IS, a KB1S, and a VK3601H. And I tell Winterblaze, I ask him to come back because we might need his help. I take my first shot at the IS, goes anywhere. My second shot does go in, and my third and fourth shots are directed at the VK. Now, granted, the T69 does have a shorter reload than the AMX. It's like 25 seconds compared to the AMX's 45, but it also gets a lower amount of shells in the clip, albeit 4 instead of 6, and with a lower alpha damage, but we'll talk about that a little later. So now Winterblaze has arrived. The T25-2 spots a super Pershing, and unfortunately we are already down 0-3, courtesy of the western side of the defense. So Winterblaze and I decide that we need to make quick work of these tanks and decide to start the flank. VK3601H appears. I take a couple of shots at him. First shot goes in, second shot goes in, but unfortunately not enough to finish him off. They were very low rolls, but the T25-2 manages to take care of that. But in return, he gets taken out by the KB1S. So Winterblaze, now almost loaded, decides to go to face the KB1S, but unfortunately I cannot flank him because the T34-1 has spotted me. He takes a shot, misses, I take my shot, I don't miss. Now I decide to go for a reload because this is a lull in the battle, but I did not notice the KB1S. Rather, I actually noticed him just in time for him to miss his shot. Winterblaze, who is loaded, goes around. Bolted gets a great shot into him, and Winterblaze goes in to finish him off. I go around to flank, but a super Pershing appears in the north. Winterblaze does take out the KB1S, so I direct my shots at the super Pershing, tracking him with the first and killing him with the third. Now, I don't know if I should have gone for a reload here or not. It's up for debate. But seeing that the IS and the T34-1 are the only things that are left, the IS and Tiger P are very much at full health. They can basically take care of it. So I decide I go up, I take my shot, help the little bit that I can, and then turn around to go help the defense on the western side because it is basically non-existent. I take my shot, get a nice roll, I let Winterblaze finish up the cleanup. He takes out the IS, but our IS manages to finish off the T34-1 before he can get his next shot off. Now, here is where I think I make my first critical mistake. I go to the middle, which is not part of the mistake, but the mistake itself is telling Winterblaze to go back and support Bolted and the KB1S and the not even shortly, now dead, T25-2 on the defense. And I would try and flank. I say this is a critical mistake mostly because I'm not familiar that much with assault maps. I have them turned off because I really do not like them. So I did not know that in the cap there is a big rock that serves as a great shield against the eastern side. So they've gotten into the cap, they have 2 tanks in the cap, but in my adrenaline rush I did not notice that the Pershing and the Tiger were not in the cap circle. This is what I believe is my second critical mistake. So now I reload. I think I have enough time. It's 24 seconds. It's almost halfway there. But now there are 3 tanks in the cap. There's still enough time to reload. The E2 and the T69 are basically waiting for me. I put my first shot into the E2 and my second shot into the T29, resetting. And I decide to finish off the E2 because I cannot see which is the other tank that's inside the cap. Unfortunately, they get another one into the cap, and my reload is just too slow or too long to be able to do anything now. It will not finish in time unless somebody gets in a reset, which unfortunately does not happen despite Winterblaze's most valiant attempt. So basically that's 4,300 damage on a loss which could have been avoided had it not been for my long reload. Now, onto the score screens. We managed to get 56,000 credits along with 1,700 XP, non-double, unfortunately on a loss, but thanks to our Defender medal, the Courageous Resistance thing that was added not long ago, I think it was in 8.8 if I'm not mistaken, allowed us to get the same amount of credits and XP as if we had won the game. We fired 21 shots, 20 of those hit, 19 penetrated for a damage of 4,279. We received 8, only 4 of those hits penetrated for a potential damage received of 1,860. We also managed to damage 8 tanks on the enemy team, as well as destroying 2 of them. We got a little bit of spotting damage in, 1,024 spotting and or tracking damage to be exact, and also 98 base defense points, which is what got us our Defender medal, despite losing because the other team managed to cap the base. Alright guys, I chose the AMX 5100 last week, mostly because I wanted to show the raw power that the autoloaders have, and in my opinion, given the right circumstances, the AMX 5100 is the best tank to show off this power. Now, I chose the T69 this week because not only did I want to show the versatility of the T69, which is awesome, I believe it is the most versatile of all the autoloaders, and also it is the most like its single-shot counterpart. I wanted to show this one because it still suffers from this curse of the autoloaders, which is its long reload. Now, let's say Winterblaze was destroyed at some point in the match. Let's say it was just after he killed the IS and did that last amount of damage on the hill. I would have still gone to that ridge alone. If I didn't have that long reload, I probably would have been able to keep on resetting the cap even after they were hidden behind that rock, just because the constant damage would have been able to keep resetting the cap at longer intervals, instead of reset the cap to 0 and then suffer a long reload. Now, let's say I was in the Pershing, which I believe is the T69's most direct counterpart. If I were in the Pershing, I would have been able to do that. I would have been able to keep resetting the cap with a much shorter reload. And with this shorter reload, I would have been able, maybe, to win the game. This all leads me to my final conclusion about autoloaders. You cannot carry a game in an autoloader. It is almost impossible to carry a game in an autoloader. And this is because their lack of versatility compared to their single-shot counterparts in respect to the high burst damage at first followed by the long reload, the fact is they cannot face off against tanks one-on-one. These tanks are meant to be support tanks. They are not meant to be mainline battle tanks. In my experience at least, support tanks usually cannot carry a game. They can help win the game. They can really help win a game, but they cannot carry it on their own. This is why the difference between a good tanker and a bad tanker is much more noticeable when the tanker's in an autoloader. The autoloader role, the autoloader class, the support class that this kind of tank brings is the hardest role, in my opinion, in the game after being a scout. And I will say it one last time. An autoloader cannot win a game on its own. Okay guys, this rant has gone on a little longer than usual. If you liked what you saw and what you heard, please give it a like, subscribe, and if you agree with me, or more importantly, if you disagree with me, please leave a comment, and stay tuned because there will be more to come.